What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today is Sunday. It's Sunday morning right now, about 7:30, I think, 7:45. I came down this morning and kind of checked out everything in the yard and outside because, man, we got a lot of rain last night and it was bad. So I ran to town earlier and got some breakfast for Holly and I, and the creek at the foot of the mountain, we call it the mountain, it's called Wheeler Mountain where we live. The creek at the foot of the mountain was up pretty high. It was almost up to the bridge this morning, so that's when you know it's rained a lot. You know, y'all, if y'all live somewhere and you know when it's rained a lot, you got a creek or something that rises, and you know, everybody around town's like, yeah, you know, it's rained. But anyway, I'm back in the shop. Pops, I'm sure, will be down here in a little bit. And Kelly's car, y'all seen in the last video, we knocked out the door bar and we were talking about the fuel cell cage. So what we're going to do, Dustin sent me a message and we were talking about his chassis, and he is actually picking it up today, Sunday. So he needs his rear end housing because I think tomorrow he's going to take the day and put it together. It's supposed to rain tomorrow too, and I don't think Dustin, in his line of work, I don't think they'll be able to do much work. So I think he's going to work on getting his car together. So we're gonna let Kelly's car down off of the jack stands, and we're gonna actually roll it closer to the door. Because, I mean, what we got to do anyway is at the back of the car anyway. So we're going to roll it closer to the door. And then we're going to get our car up on jack stands again. And that way, we're going to pull our rear end housing out. And we're going to put Dustin's rear end housing under our chassis. And that way we can line up the 4-bar brackets, control arm mounts, stuff like that. So that way he can just come out here, pick it up, carry it home, paint it, put it under his chassis, and get it rolling. So that's what we're going to work on this morning. Once we get his rear end knocked out, and I can text him and tell him he can come get it, and then we'll jump back over on Kelly's fuel cell cage. Kelly's not in a big hurry. He's just been piddling with his, putting it together, you know, as he can when he's not working. And I think he's trying to get everything ready on his, because I think his motor will be ready in 2 weeks. So he had his crate freshened up. The motor that's in this car, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not going to say. But I know it's a good motor. And he had to put it in there for the weight to get the car at ride height and for Eli to do the body. So he's got his crate being freshened, and they're supposed to get it back in 2 weeks. So, but right now, we're going to get this thing let down, get it moved up, and get ours on jack stands. Y'all hang out. All right, y'all. I just wanted to show this in hopes that y'all don't do it in the future. What happened was, when we put the rear end housing under the car, the hubs and rotors weren't on it. So we later put them on after we had the housing under here. And I'm sure by now, some of you have probably already noticed what I've done. And you would be correct. Control arm bolts were put on before the rotor was on, so the bolts were put in from the outside. So they won't come out with the rotors on there. So I'm having to take my hubs off, which none of this was tight, you know, none of this was set where it needed to be and all that. We just had this on there to get the car rolling. So it's not a big deal. None of my snap rings were on here, you know, or lock rings. So none of that's locked down or anything. It's just a matter of time now, because now I'm having to take time to take these off just to get 2 bolts out. So it's a little aggravating, but it's all right. Makes for good content, right? Y'all can hang out with me while I talk about my mess up. And at the time, you know, we weren't thinking, we were just in a hurry. And this is a prime example of what happens when you get in a hurry. Is you make mistakes. Just like yesterday with the windshield bar on Kelly's car, y'all seen me talk about how I messed it up. That's because I made it too short because I measured wrong. And that was my fault. So, there you have it. I have to get my impact. Wherever I've done with it. Come out of there. And this is difficult with one person, I'll be honest with you. I'll get my other bolt loose over there on the other side after I get that hub off. So, y'all hang out. All right, so my rear end is out. Control arm's still under there. Man, this thing is dirty. Dustin's rear end is right here. So we got to cut these leaf spring mounts off. Caliper mounts. I don't know if he's going to reuse those or not. I think he got new ones. But we'll cut all that off, and I'll probably get the plasma fired up and buzz those off, and then I'll take the grinder and clean up the old welds, which really it shouldn't take long. The plasma, I'm telling you, makes a world of difference. So we'll get those cut off, and we'll get it slid up under the car, put it on jack stands. We'll put our lower mounts on first, and then we can get our pinion angle and put our top mounts on. So y'all hang out. All right, so this is what Dustin ordered. This is what we have. These are the upper mounts here, upper bushings rather. And then you have this mount that comes in the kit. You just cut this the length you need, which it won't be centered because the way the 9-inch housings are, one mount is a little taller than the other. So that's just to get the upper control arms level. But we like to get them as close to the housing as we can without hitting the housing. So we'll cut this, you know, it'll be like something like that. It'll be a little off center. So we'll cut that, and then these weld on there like that. And obviously these aren't stock lower mounts. And this is just what come in the kit Dustin ordered, or that was ordered for him. And there's nothing wrong with these. If they say something, I mean, it is what it is. But he can put them in the hole. He can put his control arm in the hole that's the length of a stock mount. These are the stock mounts from Speedway. Y'all remember when we done our housing? Like IMCA legal, basically like a stock metric mount. So he may have to he'll probably be in like this hole, I think. I think it's the second hole. He's like the factory length from the housing. So he'll probably have to be in that hole. They may make him cut these off. I'm not sure. But cross that bridge when we get there. So I'm gonna get his rear end over here and throw it back up on time lapse, get the plasma out and start cutting. All right, so 40 minutes later, I had to go get more grinding pads, sanding pads, rather. We used the 40 grit sanding pads, 36 grit and 40 grit. So I had to go get more. My sanding pad was wore out and it was gonna take me forever to get the weld off of this housing. So I ran to Rural King and got some more. And now I can get back busy. So y'all hang out. All right, y'all. So now I got the rear end all cleaned up, and Pop decided to show up. He said he wasn't coming out of the house till 10 o'clock on Sundays anymore. And so what we done, went ahead and slid the rear end under the car, got it centered under the chassis, and then we put bolts in the lower control arms. We leveled the front face of the rear end, and then we leveled the back of the bracket, so those are level with the rear end. And now we've got our upper mounts cut. There's one, and then Pops has the other, and it goes on the short side over there. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get my arm in it. It goes on the short side there, and then this control arm is obviously on the side of the housing where it starts dropping off more. Everybody knows the 9-inch is an offset pinion, so that's the reason for the offset length in the upper bushings, but they'll be level off of the housing and the control arms will be level across. So, but now we're gonna see if we can't stick those over in here, stick a bolt in them, and then we'll get our pinion angle where we want it, and we'll tack those on. Once I get everything tacked on, I'll just pull the housing out here in the floor and weld everything up, and it'll be ready to go. So y'all hang out. All right, folks, there it is. A leaf spring floater now set up for a metric. So we got I got crap all over me crawling under that car. We got all the mounts welded on, as y'all seen in the time lapse. Everything's welded up, and Dustin's gonna come get it in a little while. I think he's going to pick his chassis up. So he's gonna be coming and picking up his rear end because he wants to clean that, paint it, and like I said, hopefully tomorrow he'd probably have it rolling knowing Dustin. That boy, he likes to work on stuff. He's anxious about his chassis. He's anxious to get it rolling. No, we're anxious to see it rolling too. So now all we like is Kelly's fuel cell cage. And if we get it knocked out, then Kelly's car will be finished up. So then we can get our car back over here in the middle or closer to the middle of the shop and start knocking out some more sheet metal work. So we're gonna probably do Kelly's fuel cell cage in this video. So y'all hang out for that, and we're gonna get busy on that. Y'all hang out. All right, y'all. Well, the clamps are under there, and we finished Kelly's fuel cell cage. So again, we used 1-inch square tubing like we did on Dustin's car. If y'all remember, we slugged the ends and where it bolts in. We built the cage around the fuel cell. We will put 2-inch straps over the top, 2-inch wide flat bar straps. Most of your rules call for 2-inch, 1-inch flat bar. And I know a lot of guys do the 1-inch tubing, but we don't like to. Also, Kelly's fuel cell is real close to the decking in this car. So, which the 1-inch, don't get me wrong, the 1-inch is not going to stick above the fuel cap. I get all that. But we like the flat bar better. And it's easier to drill through, bolt through, all that stuff. So we got the fuel cage knocked out. And Kelly's coming back to get his car here in a little bit. So I'm going to put the door bar. I'm going to put the door back on. If I just slow down for a minute. And get that put back on. Get it bolted back on. And that way he can load it up. And then we had to air up the tires. I need to put air in that left front tire. And then I'll throw it on time lapse when he gets here. And we'll get this thing loaded up and get it out of the way. And then we got to put that back under our car. So we got to put the rear end back under it. We got to get all this stuff out of the way, clean up the floor, clean up our mess. And we're going to get this bad girl over to the middle of the shop, and Pops and I are going to get busy. We want to work on our car for a little while, for a few days actually. We're going to work on it as long as we can. And that way we can get it back out here and get busy, because we're losing time as racing season closes in, and we've been working on everyone else's, in which we have no problem working on everybody else's car. It's just we haven't taken the time to work on our own car. So we want to work on ours and get it closer to race ready. Excuse me. But we'll throw it up on time lapse, and we'll get that door thrown back on, and I'll leave it on time lapse when Kelly gets here, and we'll get this thing loaded up, and then we'll be back with y'all to close out this video. Y'all hang out. Well, there he goes. Kelly picked his car up. All right, y'all. Well, Kelly come got his car just then. Y'all see him leaving. And now we're going to get back on ours. What do you think?
Me? I'm ready.
We've been putting it off and helping these other guys. And I mean, we don't, like we said, we don't mind doing that. We got Dustin's chassis built, and he's already got it rolling. And it's going to be at a trade show next weekend, Southeast Racers something trade show. I'd have to look it up, and I'll put the name of the trade show in the comment section of this video, or in the description of this video. It's at North Alabama State Fairgrounds next weekend, February 23rd, 24th, 25th, or 24th, 25th, 26th, something like that. Anyway, next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, last weekend of February, it's a trade show at North Alabama State Fairgrounds. A lot of different vendors and a lot of different, I think it's going to be like a swap meet too. So y'all check it out if you're in the area. And Dustin's going to have his chassis there. It'll be in the Twisted Performance and Machine booth, since he's running one of their engines. He's going to have it in their booth. So y'all go by and check it out, and y'all let us know if y'all head this way. So Pops and I will probably run over there Saturday and hang out for a while. And we're going to get back on our car. It's getting closer to racing season, so we want to get something done. So it's time to do some more sheet metal work. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And can't thank y'all enough. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And we appreciate it. And until next time.
Appreciate it, guys, gals. Thank y'all very much for everything, the support, and all the nice comments. Until next time, God bless you.
See y'all.